Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and we are thrilled to have in the studio with us today is CJ Machado, CEO and founder of ForceCon. How you doing, CJ?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show, on your program.
Yeah, listen, it's our honor. What's ForceCon?
ForceCon is expected to be the largest collaboration of military and civilian forces for the greater good. So leadership with the armed forces, veteran organizations, veterans, and especially honoring the World War II veterans, remaining World War II veterans.
Right. What's your relationship with Honor Flight?
So Honor Flight, ForceCon 2022 is based or was inspired by a story called Purple Foxes United. And many of those characters in the story are based on Honor Flight San Diego veterans. So like World War II paratrooper Tom Rice. There's a lot of different aviators that we kind of pulled their stories from to share with the community.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've had your friends from Honor Flight on the show, as you know, several times, and you just can't help but if you don't get welled up and hear these stories, then you don't have a heart, or you're not breathing on it, and that's fantastic. Now, do you have a military background?
I do not. My military background, sir, has to come with my commanding officer, which is the divine. So that is my military background.
Okay, very, very, very nice. And there's an opening night, is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's opening night at the San Diego Air and Space Museum. That's September 23rd from 6 to 10 p.m. And we are hosting many different Army leadership and World War II veterans, and we are still hoping to receive support so that all the remaining veterans that are able to attend as well.
Are you looking for sponsorships?
We are. We're looking for veteran sponsorships. So you can find that at force-con.com and purchase a ticket to sponsor a veteran. We're particularly giving priority to the World War II veterans.
Right, exactly. And I know with Honor Flight now, they are also, as our World War II veterans, they're in their 100-year-old now, some in their 90s, I guess, late 90s. But we're now shifting over, at least with the Honor Flight folks, to the Vietnam era. And then we'll keep on going. And just something that you folks do is spectacular. And I should know this number because I've had these guys on the show a billion times. How many veterans live in San Diego County? I want to say 250,000, or am I wrong on that?
Honestly, I couldn't answer that accurately. I could tell you that Honor Flight San Diego, I believe, has taken over 1,200 veterans in their time of service.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. We have a huge veteran deal, and of course, we have the largest, in-service, active duty military with the Marine Corps and the Navy and the Coast Guard anywhere in the country. And so we're honored to be doing these types of shows, supporting the San Diego Military Advisory Council, Honor Flight, and ForceCon, now what you folks are doing. But when we were talking to CJ before we got on the air, she said, Drew, can I interview you and ask you some questions, right?
Yes.
And we're going to see how this goes, so fire away.
Wonderful. Okay, so first of all, could you please help me with your last name?
Schlosberg.
Schlosberg.
And that means castle on a hill in German.
Really?
It does, Schloss and Berg, yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Because I told that to someone and they called me Castle. I said, no, that's what it stands for. That's okay. Anyway, that's fine.
Well, thank you. I have a question on what inspired you to create this podcast that highlights our community efforts.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's funny here. So someone's going to go, we're just supposed to be interviewing CJ. How the heck are you talking so much? But I'll answer that question. I was honored. I was in charge of community and public relations for the San Diego Union Tribune for many, many years. And we had this brilliant, innovative guy named Chris Genuine, now runs the Times of San Diego, very, very popular news website, that ran our website, Sign On San Diego, and said, we need to have the voices of folks at the Union Tribune, because you see the stars of broadcast, they're on TV, they're doing we need to give a shout out to the George Vargas, our music critic, or the Nick Canapas or whatever, and they can explain why they wrote stories this way. So we started Sign On Radio show in October 15th of 2007, and a bunch of us took different types of shows. I took Spotlight on the Community because that was what I was doing, and since 2007, we haven't stopped, and we focus on CEOs and founders of nonprofits that are doing great things in the community, and for-profits that are supporting those nonprofits, and been doing it since 2007.
So fulfilling, so fulfilling.
Well, it's great because, there's wonderful organizations like yours that, and you may have the chops on this, I'm sure you do, but a lot of the nonprofits don't. They work very, very hard, as you well know, and just turning the lights on is big time. And, for $2,000 may be their entire office supply budget for the year, and I think it's important to give them a voice. And that's not any criticism of the bigger nonprofits. We work very closely with Red Cross and United Way and YMCA. I mean, they do wonderful work. But it's the smaller ones that someone might not hear about that we want to shout out. And, you never know who's listening. And all you need is that one person that's listening that maybe not have the resources, but their aunt or uncle or brother or sister or dad or mom might, Dad, you've been trying to find a group like ForceCon, for a while. Why don't you ring them up? That's why we do it.
Well, we appreciate you, and I have to say, if you don't mind, I would like to highlight other veteran organizations on this podcast. And
Absolutely.
The reason for that is, have you interviewed Tony, I can't say his last name as well, Teravanian with STEP?
Only about 6 times.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, he is.
That man is just amazing. Talk about a light for this world.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, supporting the Enlisted Project is just great, and a bunch of friends. I think Terry McGee's on the board, if I'm not mistaken, there, and they just hired a friend of mine who's now their development director, and so it's a great group. And the answer is yes.
Well, that's one that gives me little warm fuzzies.
Okay.
And then Us for Warriors is another one that I've known them for decades.
I have not. So you need to tee this up. And this is one of the things, I'm so glad you brought this up. We're chatting with CJ Machado, CEO and founder of ForceCon. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. This is why the show, we get a kick out of it, because you'll introduce someone to us that we've never heard about. Now they've got a footprint to talk about what they do. And if I could just back up a second, one of the things that I like about the show, and really kudos to Mission Fed, I've had them on many, many times. They are just absolutely poster child, children, adults, whatever, for doing great things in the community, and they always have. So now they're sponsoring the show, is that we get to do 27 minutes, and it's not like a 3-minute soundbite. And there's nothing wrong with that. We would certainly know the restrictions on broadcast TV. I mean, you can barely get 45 seconds. You're lucky if you get some notice. Here we get to talk about stuff, so we can dig deep into what you're doing, or us warriors and so forth. So how many veterans groups do you work with?
So, sir, that is a tough question, because I don't think it's dishonest to say hundreds.
I guarantee that it is, yeah. So I know, do you work with, I'm trying to think, there's so many of them in San Diego that do such a wonderful job. I know there's a veterans group that's heavily involved in the Veterans Day, and they've been doing a lot of stuff on the Midway and all that. Do you work with those guys?
The Midway has been terrific.
Yeah.
Just terrific with us throughout the years. They were, believe it or not, my background, just so you know, is photojournalism.
Yeah,
and then
you were saying that.
Producing documentaries.
Okay.
So, but the documentaries are independent, funded. And then what we do is we tell the stories of our veterans. And the Midway is key for the Captain E. Royce Williams story. It's the only documented attack made by Russia on the United States. Many people don't know of his story, and it took years to kind of get it to light, but that's Captain E. Royce Williams, and their volunteers at the USS Midway stamped 4 MiGs on that aircraft. The Navy records do not support his story per se per testimony. However, after reflecting on his story, the volunteers felt compelled to gather together and honor his service.
Yeah, my dad fought in World War II. He was at Guadalcanal, which was very, well, it's hard to say it's brutal fighting. Name something that's not brutal fighting, right? But Guadalcanal was a tough fight in the Solomon Islands, and actually it was a very critical fight because if the Japanese would have taken over that island, they would have been really close to Australia. And so, these men and women in uniform and the civilians that support them, we can't do enough. As you know, this is in your DNA to support them and shout out this aspect. But I want to go back to your photojournalism. And I should know this, but I'm getting old and I can't, amazing I can even remember my name these days.
Me too.
Yeah, no, you're old, right, exactly. Just a babe. But doesn't KPBS do a big show each year, big veteran film show?
GI Film Festival, and they are huge partners with us, as is the Coronado Island Film Festival is amazing. Merity Book, who's the executive director, is absolutely amazing. They're going to be having, in collaboration with us, the Coronado Island Film Festival Salute to Veterans on Veterans Day. You won't want to miss it. She actually came on board to have duo badges to support ForceCon. That's how much we collaborate and have the same mission.
Right, and we've had the GI Film Festival on pretty much every year, chatting about some of the great films. If I'm not mistaken, we had the filmmakers who did a documentary on, maybe you were involved in it, on the USS Indianapolis.
No, sir, I wasn't, but I had a great appreciation for it. I believe they took that award that year.
They did.
Yes,
and
sir.
Anyone knows the USS Indianapolis, they were in the secret mission, knowing we knew they were out there. Pretty much the boat got capsized, and then I'm not sure how many of them and the men got eaten by sharks. It's a pretty, brutal story.
Brutal, yes.
Yeah, but that's the GI Film Festival is all about in that aspect. What got you into photojournalism?
Oh boy, I wanted to. Okay, let's see. Full admittance here. I wanted to share a story.
Yeah.
And so I love writing. And so I got involved with Homeland Magazine about 10 years back. And it was to actually share the Captain E. Royce Williams story.
Wow. So now, did you do your journalism out here in San Diego?
Yes.
At what school?
No, sir. So I am a self-taught photojournalist.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Did you study? Did you get books? Did you talk to photojournalists?
Yes. So Martha McCollum is a huge inspiration of mine because she chose the veterans as well to highlight. So that's probably where I got that little fire from within me. And I just wanted people to know of these stories before they're gone and how valued they are.
Yeah, well, there's no question about that. And, there's something that's cool about catching it on film. Or in photos, a little different than in print, but they all hit the same thing. We're chatting with CJ Machado. She is the CEO and founder of ForceCon, going to have opening night on September the 23rd at the San Diego Air and Space Museum, if I'm not mistaken on that, correct?
Yes.
How do people get tickets?
So it's at www.force-con.com. And we are still looking for it. There's sponsorship opportunities if anybody's interested in that. And then if you'd like to purchase a ticket so a World War II veteran and their caregiver can attend, you can also find it at force-con.com.
How much does it cost to sponsor one?
So it is a fundraiser for Honor Flight San Diego. It's $250 per ticket.
Okay, good. And so would that sponsor a veteran attending the event, or is that something different?
Yes, that would sponsor the veteran.
Okay, well, there you come on, folks. Get your wallets open on this. How could you not do something great in that vein? And the event goes from when to when? It's
from 6 to 10. I don't know how much time we have left, sir, but I wanted to kind of highlight the red carpet.
Yeah, we're going to do that when we come back
sir.
from a break. We're chatting with CJ Machado, CEO and founder of ForceCon. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. As you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show here, brought to you by Cloudcast Media and Mission Fed Credit Union, doing wonderful things for San Diego for over 60 years. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Cloudcast Media and Mission Fed Credit Union, our sponsor, who has been doing great things in San Diego for 60 years. We are back with CJ Machado. She is the CEO and founder of ForceCon, and you got a pretty big gig coming up. Talk about it.
I do. It's the expected to be the largest 3-day military convention and art festival that involves action, adventure, animation, film, comics, and literary works, and working with partnerships amongst the armed forces and veteran organizations, all working hard for the greater good.
Exactly, and that'll be from the 23rd of September to the 25th, but opening night has got some cool things. You got a red carpet gig involved in this?
We do. We have we're celebrating legends on the red carpet and emphasizing it with aviation. So we have Captain E. Royce Williams from the Korean War. We have Commander Glenn Tierney. We have a gentleman who you would just love. His name is Willie Sharp. I love this story. He is the shortest held captive POW during the Vietnam War. Take too long to tell you on the show, but if you'll have to check him out. Willie Sharp. His name is Lieutenant Willie Sharp. Flew F-4s. Amazing story how he was able to. It was actually his aircraft, his supporting aircraft, that dive bombed his captors. Basically, when I mean dive bomb, I mean like took the aircraft in.
Wow! How long was he captive for?
Probably less than 15 minutes.
Wow. Well, that would be a record on this. And he'll be at this event, right?
He'll be at this event.
Right. And black tie event, is it business attire, or come as you like, or how is it?
Yes, it is a gala. We are emphasizing flight themed. So we have designers coming from all parts of the country with their different wing themed attire.
Cool. And how many folks are you going to have at this?
So we're maxed out at, I would say, 600 is what we're...
Right. So in other words, listeners, this will sell out. You want to get in on this as soon as possible. And the website again? It's
force-con.com.
Right. So you're going to go to this. The opening night is on the 23rd. And then where are the other activities? Are they also at the Aerospace Museum? Or?
Yes, but I'm sorry, Drew, I got to do this to you.
Please do it to me.
There is believe it or not, I got to just tell you about the different people coming into town because it's so exciting. There is a retired police horse that's actually going to be walking that red carpet. So we're having all these red carpet reunions amongst the disbanded San Diego Police Department mounted unit so that they can have a reunion right there. A lot of these folks haven't seen, his name is Wham, and it means William Albert Murphy, and he will be attending walking that red carpet as we take his imprint.
How old is Wham?
Wham is 23 years old.
Oh, my goodness. And, okay, well, that's, if nothing else, that's, is Wham signing autographs?
Yes.
With his
with
foot?
His hoof.
There we go.
How do you say it? Yes, sir.
Hoof print. And no, I knew exactly what you're saying. So, listen, it takes, money, it takes volunteers, it takes everything in between to support these types of efforts on that. So you're saying come one, come all. So when this event is done, are you now starting on September 26th with next year's event?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
When you're an independent producer, you're doing this all by passion. And then, of course, the generosity of others.
Right.
So, budget, you're always working on that. So
Sure.
We'll see what God has in store for us.
Yeah.
But yes, we are. We just aren't sure if we're going to be back here in San Diego.
Oh, really? Were somewhere else before?
Home of the horse soldiers in Florida at Skydive Palatka.
Really?
Yes, sir. And it would be with the round canopy parachuting team. And I have to revert back just for a moment because
Please.
On opening night, I just want to make sure folks know that what we're showing is a film called Into Flight Once More. And that is basically, it documented the flight of a fleet that went back that served during World War II of C-47s to basically participate in the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Right.
And the narration is by Gary Sinise. So I just want to make sure we highlight that.
So Gary Sinise is going to, okay. Yeah.
His foundation came on board and helped us out quite a bit.
Yeah, we've had them on the air too on our show over here. And obviously he's done just great work, to say the least. And I forget who the CEO is of the local foundation here.
Chris Thorne. I believe it's Chris Thorne.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct on this. Do you need volunteers for the event, or you got that squared away?
We actually could utilize volunteers. Not on opening night, we're full there. However, on day 2 and day 3. And day 2, we're actually having the D-Day squadron come in. There's 3 vintage aircraft that are committed to come in, and they're going to be dropping paratroopers, all former Golden Knights, Black Daggers, Black Knights, and then the round canopy parachuting team. They're going to drop a gentleman by the name of Vincent J. Spranza. You would love this man. And he's one of the remaining Battle of the Bulge veterans at 97 years old. He'll be dropping onto the drop zone at the Hotel del Coronado.
Okay, so that'll be at the Hotel Del. So on the website, it's going to have this, on the 23rd is happening here, and then on the 24th is happening at the Hotel Del or whatever it is. And is there other venues where some of these activities will take place?
Yes, so then day 3 is at Liberty Station, Ingram Plaza, and that's Meet the Heroes. Vincent will be our keynote speaker as well. So to kind of go back a little bit, that Purple Foxes United story where ForceCon is inspired by, it's very POW MIA centric from the Vietnam War.
Right.
And so with that, we have many POWs that will be on a panel with Vincent as well.
Is Jim Bettinger going to be involved?
No, I do not have Jim Bettinger involved, sir.
So Jim is a POW. He was in the Hanoi Hilton with, I think, with McCain, if I'm not mistaken. And Jim's written a book about his experiences, and at the San Diego Military Advisory Council breakfast, which I've been going to for years, the 3rd Wednesday of each month, we have a keynote speaker, Secretary of the Navy or the CNO, some pretty big folks. Jim always gives a book of his experiences at the Hanoi Hilton to the speaker. And he would be someone you'd probably want to take a look at, Jim Bettinger.
Jim Bettinger, we're inviting you to sit on our panel.
And Jim's been on the show. And as a matter of fact, I just saw him a couple days ago, matter of fact. And so I can put you in touch offline with Mark Balmert. Admiral Balmert is the CEO of the San Diego Military Advisory Council, and can certainly put you in touch with Jim. Jim would be a great addition.
Yes, sir, he would.
Yeah, he would. So there you go. This is how these shows work over here. We're chatting with CJ Machado, CEO and founder of ForceCon. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community. Cloudcast Media brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing phenomenal things to San Diegans for more than 60 years. So what else can we learn about what ForceCon is going to do, or things that are going to support your work?
I just think it's, sir, just having tickets and sharing, or purchasing tickets and sharing is going to be great. It'll help Honor Flight San Diego and just highlight many of these veteran organizations. But I also wanted to share something that I find that It's interesting how you said how things work out.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 3 aircraft, we have D-Day Doll, we have the Spirit of Bonovia following. And the reason why I'm bringing that particular aircraft up is because the gentleman who's the director for the film Into Flight Once More, he's the one who basically adopted Wham, that police horse, and is bringing him in. And that I just think it's fascinating how life works.
Yeah, well, and the connections too, and it's amazing that you didn't know who Jim Bedinger was, and why would you, right? But now you're going to know Jim,
yes.
And he's a character, he's a great guy, and mention my name when you ring him up. I have to even see if I even have his number on my phone over here.
Drew, are you going to call him now?
I wouldn't mind doing that. In the past, we were able to hook up with him, but Jim, and he'll even admit this too. He goes, Drew, sometimes I just talk a little too much, and I know you have limited time on the radio. He's a great guy, and so I'll make sure you're connected with him. CJ, what an honor to meet you, and wishing you nothing but great success. Why don't you shout out the event one more time and how people can get tickets?
It's forest-con.com, and U.S. Army Week San Diego will be presenting us. They're big supporters.
Well, wishing you nothing but a sold-out field, and hopefully you will come back to San Diego next year, and it was a joy chatting with you.
Thank you for having me on this program, and God bless.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.